Hello, and thank you for joining me on AI Innovation Podcast. My name is Younes. I'm your host, and I'm the founder of Evolbot. As I mentioned in the last episode, today we will speak about Evalbot, which is a conversational AI chatbot. So, a conversational AI powered chatbot that basically understands and knows everything about your employee file from the platform itself. So, I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Screen, and I'll go here. All right, so I'm hoping you see my screen. I'm just gonna verify everything is working. It's supposed to be. All right, cool. So I'm on the homepage right now on Evolbot, and this is my main screen, my main dashboard. So basically, the home screen leads you directly to all the feedbacks listed for your employees. As I mentioned in my last episode, I believe that feedbacks are the most powerful and impactful things that you can provide to your employees for within an organization. And I've mentioned how the top menu is very focused, very simple to use into creating whether feedback, objective, key results. I've also mentioned in the last episode that you have an AI chatbot that can help you generate that feedback. So you can select the employee here and you can create your feedback manually, or you can use our feedback generator to basically ask it to generate feedback for you. You can just provide the observation, and then the AI will draft a feedback for you that you can finalize or change or tweak. You can also request feedback here from your manager. Same goes for objectives. So if you click on objective, you can create it manually, as with any platform. Or you can generate it using AI. So again, and each AI in the backend basically is already configured to understand that you're writing an objective, or you're writing a feedback, or you're writing key results. It's all pre-configured. So all you have to do is say what you want to say. So for example, say, I want to increase sales. I want to increase sales by 40%. Sorry, my microphone in front of me. Okay, so and then from there, it will take that and create a smart objective for you that you can then set up for the employee. So increase sales by 40% within the next 2 quarters, aiming for an additional blah blah blah. You can give it more details. So if you give it more details, it will be able to also draft something very specific. Here's generating. I gave it, I would say, too little. But it would be able to kind of draft something better if you give it more details. So let's go back to the main topic. And as I explained, we have an AI assistant for you in any of the performance management features within the solution. But today I will show you Evalbot. So if I go on my profile here, and this is my dashboard, Jacob Mitchell is basically a fictional, employee within the platform. He is the CEO, and his department is information technology. Every dashboard of the logged in user will show information about the logged in user, and it will also show you any employees that report to that logged in user. So for here, I have 4 employees that report to me. So I'll select Olivia Jones for this exercise. And by selecting Olivia, then I can see her profile. I can see all her feedbacks, all her objectives. I can search here for any of them, or I can just simply click on Evalbot, and it will take me to the conversational AI chatbot that we created. So here, so basically, Evalbot is an AI-powered chatbot that whenever you're on an employee profile page or screen, it knows every data that you've input by using Evolbot, through time. So let's say you start using Evolbot and you provide your first objective and your first key result to the employee, and you provide maybe 10 feedbacks. That employee has multiple recognitions. As time goes, Evalbot has access to all that information specifically for that specific employee when you're on their profile page. I can ask here, so I'll give you an example. Who is the employee? And it will tell you that the employee name is Olivia Jones. Something to keep in mind. The AI is trained and instructed to help you with everything that has to do with performance management for employees. It's not going to help you do, homework or anything else, but it will help you do all of, what's related to the platform. So I will say, can you provide me with past feedbacks given to Olivia in the past, I don't know, let's be more specific, in the past 3 months? So it will look at the data, as I mentioned earlier, because it has access to that data. So think of it as you're having a conversation with the data instead of just a chatbot. And I think that's the future of using AI to power our our applications and our softwares for us to be more efficient, to be faster. We naturally use chats or conversations to discuss, to create ideas, to come to certain conclusions, or I don't know, to work on a project. And I think this is a natural way of doing performance management and creating having a conversation or creating feedback for your employees. I believe that the future is basically assistants that are very smart. They understand what the end goal is, and they help us do that task that we have on a daily basis, regardless of which industry you work in, regardless of what kind of organization you are. Evolflow and Evalbot are set up to be universally to use universal language in terms of performance management. So as you saw here, I asked it to give me specific, all the feedbacks for the past few months, and it did. It gave me the rating that I created, the nature of the feedback, what kind of employee impact field. So I'll get to employee impact field in future episodes, but this is something that I've personally worked on for several months. I try to create, kind of like a way to measure the impact of an employee on an organization. So often there's so many things that an employee can do for a company that gets lost in translation or get lost in the way feedback is provided. I think kind of being very specific about what kind of impact the employee has on an organization and each project or each work they've done or each interaction they had with a customer or anything. So it listed all the feedbacks that I've asked it. I can say what are the strengths, what are the key, strengths of Olivia. So again, it will look at all the past feedbacks and it will try to, from whatever data you've entered, it will try to identify those. And this is very useful if you want to, especially if you have a large team. So sometimes we have large teams in some organizations, their teams can run up to 100 per manager, or VP or whatever. And this is very important if obviously you can't remember every employee's strengths and opportunities or weaknesses. And in this scenario, you can chat with that, bot and get to it directly instead of going through all the data. It's like, oh, I created a feedback. I remember we had this conversation. Oh, did I have this conversation? Everything is there. You can just ask a question and it will come up. I will from here say, you know what? Olivia has mentioned that she would like to grow within the organization and become a manager within the next 6 months. Can you draft a growth plan based on her file? And again, it will take all that information and it will create the perfect template for you to start with. Obviously, as a manager or anyone that has direct reports, you have to review whatever Evalbot gives you, and then either customize it or take it as is if you find that it's very good. But it will craft something that you can use quickly. So obviously, I'm I gave it kind of like a bigger task than usual, but it took a little bit of time, but here it is. So Olivia Jones expressed an inspiration to advance her career within the organization and aims to transition to a managerial role. Um, so area of focus. So it will give you, what she needs to do to basically transition to that role or to that position. So we'll say we need to develop Olivia needs to develop her leadership skills, strategic thinking, communication, performance management, and it will give you an action plan because I gave it already a timeline. So I said within the next 6 months. So now it's going to give me a realistic timeline, a realistic action plan within that timeline to realize that. And this is only one of the ways you can use Evalbot. And this is why I believe that assistants and chatbots are very powerful if they're combined with AI and have access to data. I see a lot of companies right now using AI with certain knowledge bases. So you dump in a bunch of information and then you customize the assistant, you give it certain instructions. And it's great, it does great things. I've used it myself since AI came up. I've used it in multiple tools. I created assistants myself, assistants for this, assistant for my improving my skills, I don't know, helping my kids with homework, different things. But the beauty of Evalbot is that it's a chatbot that basically knows the employee data, but that employee data keeps changing because as you use the platform and as you create feedback or as the employee requests feedback themselves about certain projects, everything is being fed into that AI and it evolves and it continues to learn about the employee. So it will help you even more help that employee because the end goal is to help the employee. And if you help your employee to grow, to be better, to improve their skills, to learn new tools, then you're helping the organization grow. And in the end of the end goal is basically that the entire organization benefits from this. So this is one of the ways, as I mentioned, that you could use it. There's another great way. Let me just Google something. So basically, let's say you have an evaluation template that you use within your organization. We've all seen this. We go from company to company, and every HR department has their own template or their own way of creating evaluation, their own questions and their own answers. This is going to help you be very efficient in filling those evaluations, especially if you have large teams. So I'll just Google, evaluation template, Google Docs. I'll just take something from the internet quickly here. I hope you're seeing my screen. I see one here. So let's say here. So I have company values already set. So I'll take this example. So the company values in this example, in this template, is accountability, taking ownership, collaboration, commitment, integrity, and quality. And other companies use different templates. So I'll just copy paste the entire form here. And I'll go back to Evalbot and I'll say, fill in this evaluation template using the data about Olivia. And I'll Control V. I'll just paste whatever I copied from that screen and I'll hit enter. This might take a little bit of time. It's going to try to look at all the data, all the feedback and everything that it has about Olivia, and it will fill the form as best as it can based on the instructions. So as you can see here, accountability. Olivia has consistently demonstrated a strong sense of accountability in her work. She takes ownership of her task. And Olivia is a fictional employee, but I can vouch for her. I created good feedbacks about her, her work and how she delivered projects. Sometimes, obviously, it's all fictional, but and it will fill that form. So this saves you a ton of time in filling evaluation. As a manager, obviously, you have to review each of them, but it saves you time in typing. It saves you time in trying to find the right words, the right structure, being neutral, being fair between your team members. And I think this is a great way to use Evalbot. So I hope this was very interesting and very inspiring to see. I'm curious to hear what you would use it for within your performance management journey. I would love to get comments or any improvement, any, you know, um, any advices or any anything that you would like us to develop or add to this. We're working on some very exciting things to add within Evalbot, pushing it again even more, so to help you be an efficient manager, an efficient organization, and help the organization grow. That's the ultimate goal. Is I think feedback are very powerful. Um, and having a simple yet effective platform is key. For an organization to be healthy, to be engaged. So again, I'll just go back to my screen here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of AI Innovations by Evolflow. I'm your host, Younes. Thank you for watching again. See you on the next episode.